What's up, chainsaw men and women? I'm Dakota, or Shit for Brains, whatever you want to call me, and I'll be your host and the one driving this review train today for Chainsaw Man Chapter 34 manga review. But before we get to reviewing anything, I'd like you to go down below and review if you've hit the like, subscribe, or notification bell so that you can keep up to date with me and all of my review related content. And maybe in the future we'll get something a little more than a review, maybe some theory videos or something. I don't know. I got no idea what I'll be cooking up in the future, so stick around and let's find out together. But aside from any of that, let's get into Chainsaw Man 34 chapter review titled To Go to Enoshima. And I hope you're ready to meet some assassins, because that's what we're doing here today. Now in chapter 34, we start off in the forest, a snowy forest, with a man and a woman. It seems like they're hunting foxes, and immediately in the first two panels, we see one get struck with an arrow. The fox falls down, and the woman asks the man, Tolka, "Does it feel like you've taken a life?" To which the man responds to the woman, who we now know is his master, "No, all I really felt was the vibration from drawing the bowstring." A little bit of time goes by, and the master asks Tolka again, "Does it feel like you've taken a life?" as they skin the animal, presumably to make stew. And he says, "No, I didn't feel anything." She asks again, later when they're about to eat, "Tolka, did it feel like you?" And he cuts her off and says, "No, it did not feel like I've taken a life. What's this about?" She reveals now why she's been asking him these questions and shows a picture of Denji and says, "This is not like any of the other jobs we've taken. We're not hunting devils. We're hunting a 16-year-old boy." Tolka, seeming relatively unshaken by this prospect, just says, "Well, sure, I can do that." Like it's not such a big deal to him. And so the master doubles down and says, "Tolka, what we just did to that fox is what we're about to do to a 16-year-old boy. We're going to him and rip out his heart and make this job our living." And again, unshaken, steadfast in his determination, Tolka says, "Master, I can." And we see why in the next panel, where he says the powers that be made him a promise that if they can take out this devil, the master can retire, because she only has half a year left, and Tolka wants her to enjoy it to the fullest. The master apparently didn't know how to respond to this, or at least we don't get to see how, because all she says is Tolka's name, and then we pan out to the cabin and leave this scene. And right now I can go ahead and tell you that Fujimoto is doing his job to the absolute best, because I am invested in these characters already. They may not be on our side, but I've already taken a liking to both Tolka and the master. Tolka seemingly being able to put his morality aside if it means that the master can live out the rest of her short life in peace, and the master not wanting something to weigh on Tolka's conscience far after she would already be gone. But unfortunately, this is Chainsaw Man, and I don't see either of them living to that half-year point that Tolka was talking about. Now after this, we travel to what I assume is China, with busy streets, and it looks like a business district, where we cut to a rather lewd scene that I probably can't show much of on here, of a woman surrounded by 4 other women. They're all laying in bed, pretty naked, talking about how good the last session just was. All 4 of these girls that are surrounding the main one in the middle all look like fiends, and later on in the chapter we will find out that they are, with one of their hair coming out looking like kind of a shadow monster, looking kind of like Emu from One Piece, if you know what I'm talking about. Another girl being covered head to toe in stitches. Another only being able to say the word Halloween with one of her eyes falling out, and the last girl looking fairly normal but with handcuffs on. To all of these, I really can't decide who is who when it comes to a matter of what their devil powers would be, but I'm fairly certain that the one that can only say Halloween's probably the Halloween devil. Now, I guess as soon as their spicy time is getting pretty good, it gets cut short by a military officer barging in and telling the woman in the middle with lighter hair than all the others, and the only relatively normal looking one aside from the girl in handcuffs, that there's a mission for her. To this, she asks, "What's the reward?" And the man says, "I've been told that we will do anything in our power for whatever wish you desire." Now, the girl with the ponytail that looks like a shadow monster says that she wants donuts. The girl with stitches says nothing, and the girl in handcuffs says that she wants blood. The Halloween fiend, I guess, can only say Halloween, so that's what she says. After thinking about this proposal, this main girl says that she wants them to grant her girls human rights and basic education, to which this military man says, "We will think about it if you succeed." Now at this point, the scene changes to Makima talking to Kishibe about Kwanji, who we now know is the light-haired woman from the previous scene. Makima believes that when she comes to assassinate Denji, she'll likely bring all of her fiend companions with her. But Kishibe seems relatively focused and fixated on the Kwanji part of this equation. See, Kishibe states that if there was a bare-handed martial arts tournament between the entire world, that Kwanji would come out as the victor. And as for any kind of precautions that they could be taking, well, Kishibe states that they're just better off not taking any, because there's nothing that they do that will really make a difference. To which Makima says that the one that they really need to watch out for would be Germany's Santa Claus. Which, let me go ahead and put a stop on that right now, sounds goofy. What the hell is going on where Fujimoto has turned Santa Claus into a villain? I cannot believe this man. What won't he take from me? Anyways, Kishibe asks if Makima really thinks that he'll come, which Makima states, "I don't know. It's iffy. I heard rumors that he might have passed away from old age. But if he uses any of his devils on us, we'd better hope that he's on his way to the pearly gates." And boy, oh boy, did Makima speak of the devil. Because right after that scene, we snap cut to a scene of a younger gentleman walking up to a park bench with a man reading a newspaper sitting on it. He sits down next to the old man and says, "Christmas is coming early this year, isn't it?" To which the old man, while peering over his newspaper, says, "Who's getting the present?" Now this younger man says the chainsaw devil that has Tokyo abuzz, and asks if this man who is presumably the Santa Claus could find him. Santa Claus says, "What's the reward?" And the young man says, "Well, what do you want?" It's at this point where I realize that I might have liked Toka and his master, and I might feel indifferent on Kwanji and her harem, but I definitely do not like this creepy old man, because he says that the gift that he wants for taking out Chainsaw Man is 4 children to adopt. The man asks, "Why would you want 4 children, like the rest of us are asking right now?" To which Santa Claus says, "Well, I'd like 3 to use for contracts and 1 for pleasure." Why are you adopting them? Why are you adopting them? Why do they have to be children? What are you doing to Santa Claus? Fujimoto, what are you doing to Santa Claus? This is my childhood we're talking about, and you're making him into a pedophile. I understand that he owns elves, and I understand that he makes them work in his labor camp, which, not cool, but could we not have kept it at that? Did we have to make Santa Claus a pedophile? So close to Christmas, I might add. And I guess this mission is real important to this young man, because he just says, "I'll arrange it," and walks off. good on you, man. You have priorities, I guess. Not the same as the rest of ours, but okay. Now from here, we move on to the last scene of the chapter, which is Denji sulking, like he always is, and I can't really blame him. He has a shit life right now. So while he's wallowing in sorrow, laying in his bed, feeling sorry for himself, Denji's also getting real introspective about why everybody wants his heart and what Pochita really is to be garnering so much attention. And while Denji is sitting here, apparently talking out loud about how disappointed he is to not be able to go on this trip with Makima, Aki walks up and just plops right on his back. Now Denji, noticing that as similar as Aki and Makima's names might be, they are not the same, looks up at Aki and says, "I'm not your seat, dude." To which Aki says, "You know that there aren't going to be assassins hunting you permanently, right? If we can just take care of this first round of assassins that gets here, then the others will play the waiting game and just watch for a while. Meaning we'll be able to go to Enoshima with Makima." She said it was postponed, not canceled, to which apparently Denji had not thought about just getting rid of the assassins and says, "Wait, really? That's all? That's it then? So if I just... It's Enoshima, here we come, huh?" And the chapter comes to an end with Denji's realization that maybe he can still go to Enoshima if he could just take care of the assassins before they take care of him. Now I know this was more of a setup chapter, getting us ready for the prospect of these assassins and introducing us to the possible threats to Denji, but I'm gonna be honest, I enjoyed it nonetheless. I like meeting new, interesting characters, especially if it's building up what are going to be our enemies, and it's making me think, what is going to happen? Are they just going to come after Denji, or are they gonna end up having to fight with each other to get to Denji? Because that would make things a whole lot easier on Denji's part, and it's not like they can all have Denji's heart, so hopefully they don't use their noggins and decide to team up until they have Denji's heart, and then bicker between the three of them. So far, I really like some of the assassins, I'll say. I enjoyed the brothers from America, that I think we don't have their names yet. I think Quan Chi is alright. I think it's cool she's running with a bunch of fiends, which was confirmed by Makima that they are fiends. And like I stated previously, I like Tolka and his master. They seem relatively down to earth, although determined, which is not going to turn out very well for Denji, but I'm sure that our lovable horn dog will make it through this. But with that, I'm going to call an end to this video. I gotta go to bed. I just worked a whole shift. But if you have any theories on what's gonna happen in the next couple of chapters, let me know in the comment section down below. And please, no cheating. No spoilers yet. We want to take this step by step. But you're welcome to tag along and ride along with the rest of us to figure out what is going on in this awesome manga we know as Chainsaw Man. But until next time, remember to go down, like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. Like I said, any of the interaction that you could do really would help me as a small YouTuber trying to grow. And if you want to see more of this kind of content, then let me know down below what you'd like to see, whether it be more Chainsaw Man review chapters, or any of the things that I mentioned in the last video, like reviews on Tokyo Ghoul before the anime changed what it actually was, or a retelling of what actually happened in the Soul Eaters manga before the anime went and screwed the pooch. But as always, I've been Dakota, shit for brains, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks.